What's up? Welcome to the Part-Time Rockstar Podcast, episode 43. Today with my guest and friend and podcast alumni, Mr. Nick Thompson, also known as Surfin On The Lake. Nick and I have become friends since I met him on the first episode that he was on. We played a couple shows since then, and the other day I was over there at his place recording a guitar solo for a track that he's working on. So I figured we'd flip the mics on for a minute and get a quick chat in about his new release or new song that he just put out. It's called Come With Me, and I'll definitely feature that on the episode here in a second. You can find it on Spotify or his Facebook page. And as always, if you do like somebody's page or subscribe, then obviously it's easier to find their stuff in the future. So we talked about that, and we talked about my new song. I got one coming out called Algorithm. It's all about AI and the future of tech and humans' relationship with it. We shot a music video for it as well, which I'm pretty stoked on. Big thanks to Mr. Ian Bell for hooking it up, as well as the guys in the band, Andrew Bishop and Paul and Matt Harris, who added some killer vocals. But yeah, so big week all around. Hope everybody's doing all right out there in the brave new year of 2021. Whether you made resolutions or kind of just looking forward to a new rotation around the sun. Hopefully it brings some new horizons. Might be kind of shaping up to be an older sibling of 2020, but I guess we'll see what happens. Regardless, thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting local music. Bands always appreciate it. And as always, if you happen to be in a band yourself and you got new music, feel free to hit me up. We might be able to do an episode for you. But yeah, without further ado, Nick Thompson, Surfing on the Lake.
By the sea, a place you won't want to leave. Come with me to a place you'll see, a place you won't want to leave.
Oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. Anyway, gotta snap into podcast mode real quick.
Got it.
Yes. I'm here today with Nick Thompson, otherwise known as Surfing on the Lake, if you're still known as that.
Hey man, whatever.
We'll scratch that.
Yeah, no, Surfing on the Lake I think that might be like the thing that I've released music under for a while.
All right, cool. So yeah, you are now kind of part of the Part-Time Rockstar alumni, I think is what I'm calling everybody now.
Cool.
So I like to check in with people, and especially when they're releasing new stuff. And try and help get it out there. So I figured we could do a short little rundown on the new song and what you've been up to.
Sounds good.
So the song is called?
Well, it's an EP. It's called Come With Me. It's got 3 songs on it. Come With Me, Waiting in the Wings, and Come Around. They're all live instrumentation, so it's like there's no MIDI drums and all that kind of stuff. There is MIDI keyboards. I hired a pedal steel player for one of the songs, Come Around.
Mm-hmm. It sounds pretty sweet.
Yeah, man.
It's got a groove to it.
Yeah.
So.
I use Fiverr a lot for things. I think I've told you that before. So the album artwork was all Fiverr, the musicians, minus the guy I collaborated with on Waiting in the Wings was all live. I'm not live, through Fiverr. I met the guy who I collaborated with on Waiting in the Wings on SoundCloud. And he, not really sure where he's from, but he plays the bass, he plays the guitar, he plays the drums. And, he said, let's collaborate. And so, that's how that came about.
Yeah, it seems like you're pretty active at finding people, either through Instagram or SoundCloud or whatever that may be.
As are you, man.
I'm learning the ways.
The ways of the Force.
Yeah, I did actually just finish The Mandalorian there. It was pretty good.
Did you subscribe to Hulu?
I think I watched it through Disney Plus.
Okay, I saw a bundle. It was like Hulu and Disney Plus for like $14.
But yeah, I don't know. I just like checking in with people, and
what you got going on. I know you had your video.
Yeah, that'll come out this week. Yeah, Friday, I think. It'll be the 9th, something like that.
You've had several videos recently, right?
At least one recently, the Dispensary Kid one.
Okay.
So that song seems to be doing pretty well.
So what's the one that's coming out now?
This one's called Algorithm, and it's actually got my buddy singing a little bit on the chorus. He's my old friend from the Guns N' Roses band. We've been friends long before that too, but he's been shrieking Axl for a while, so I've been trying to get him in the studio eventually to do like maybe some separate songs or whatever, but I figured this way he could dip his toe into the water. And
this is the guy I met, right?
Yeah, who we were gonna play with in the.
What was his name again?
Matt Harris.
Matt Harris.
Yeah, we were gonna play that set, and we sort of played that set together.
That was a mess.
But it was a mess, and it didn't work. But we got to have a fun jam session prior to that, at least I feel like at the college.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, he's gonna be on there on that song, and
does he write?
I don't know. I wouldn't quite say he's gone that far. Maybe he's aspiring to.
He's got kids.
Yeah, I mean.
So he's like.
I don't know. He's an English major.
Oh, so he should be writing.
So I've always kind of been waiting to maybe see if he's got some poetry skills in there somewhere or something like that.
He's gonna write some Othello type stuff.
Yeah, he's always into like Greek mythology, and I feel like the only band I've ever heard of write lyrics like that is like Iron Maiden, which I think he can sing pretty well, but yeah. So anyway, this will be his debut on that music video, and it's going to be really trippy, I think, because it was filmed in like an art factory, and I don't know, it's just a weird landscape.
You need to be high to watch it, or is it something that?
I think you can be in any state of mind, hopefully.
Right.
Whether you're sober or whether you're
whatever.
I'm personally trying to do some form of dry January. So,
yeah, I see that. He's having O'Douls.
Yeah. It's time of the year, I guess. Trying to give the liver a rest.
I'm gonna give it Lent. I'm gonna do it for Lent.
Yeah, it's a good time to do it. A lot of people do it then too. So.
That's that sweet taste in your mouth of drinking beer, man.
Anyway, you'll be the first one to see it when the music video comes out. I think, like I said, I should get it this week. So I'll put it up there. It's all about robots and AI and all that stuff. So
I just bought a domain name.
Nice.
For surfinonthelake.com.
Oh, right on.
I did it for 2 years, and then I'll renew after that, because there's other Nick Thompsons out there.
Yeah, that's actually it's important to mention, not only on the podcast but just in general. Like, you got to search a little bit. I think I had to search the song title to find the new one. So, do you still go by Surfin On The Lake on Spotify?
Well, I don't know.
Because when I searched that, I don't think I got the new song.
No, I've never gone as Surfin On The Lake on Spotify. It might have... To be honest, I don't know. With all that.
Right. Well, then we'll clear it up, I guess, for the podcast and say you're officially going by Nick Thompson.
But because
is another Nick Thompson.
Yeah, because I was saying that there's so many Nick Thompsons. One of them had a hit this past summer, and that is burying my shit. So I'm thinking it might be wise to go by Surfing on the Lake and rock with that. And have you ever read that magazine or seen that magazine, Wired magazine?
Yeah, for sure.
There's the editor-in-chief of that is Nick Thompson. So,
yeah.
So
you are buried, I guess.
And he put out music in the 90s.
Yeah.
So, I guess, and his stuff shows up all over my stuff.
Yeah.
The guy that had the hit this past summer shows up all over my stuff.
Yeah. I guess in some ways there may be a little ancillary benefit to that, but probably
somewhat.
I mean, probably not. I guess if you're trying to promote your own signal.
Well, I had a song called TikTok that was spelled TikTok that took off just because
people of the regular TikTok.
People are looking up TikTok songs. So there's that one. TikTok.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I kind of just wrote a song called Dispensary Kid because I was like, well, in part, anytime you write a song that has any mention of, pot in it, it's like, it seems like it just, I don't know, it gets attention. I think it was Howie of Ballyhoo that was like that. He's like, yeah, we write one song with pot in the lyrics or in the title, and of course people want to listen to it. So
I remember people in high school that weed heads would only talk about weed. That's the only thing that they could talk about.
Which is funny because you're supposed to be more open-minded, I feel like.
Weed just makes you so much better, man.
But then, I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Have I talked about weed recently?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know. I just figured this is a good way to try to get that extra push any way you can to get attention. So,
won't talk about what it's about. It's a fictional character.
Well, of course. But, I mean, it's, inspired by people around. And, I know there's a lot on that subject in particular with, addiction and stuff. I mean, who doesn't know somebody who's got something going on?
Right. I listened. I was singing it. I didn't listen to it. I was singing it. It's so catchy. It's one of your songs. It's this one's for you and me and sobriety. I was in the middle of a domestic dispute, and
well, hopefully not.
Probably not like not like that. It was, but like a little bit drunk, and I was thinking to myself as I'm peeing, thinking like, this one's for you.
Yeah,
it's funny what songs pop into your head.
I know. Well, yours is still on Andrea and I's playlist. So
yeah, you sent me the picture the other day.
Actually, you had to be there. I think you got the Jimmy Buffett poster up there.
It's my little space right here. This is my fake. That's my fake offer letter from Atlantic Records.
Oh, perfect. I don't know. Do you want to be signed to Atlantic or those big companies anymore? Is that still the name of the game?
I mean, why wouldn't you?
I guess so.
Well, I mean, okay, so yeah, we're living in an age where everybody can release music, but the people on the major labels are not getting buried.
Oh, for sure.
They're not.
Yeah, I guess I've just listened to other music podcasts, and some people got some horror stories out there of kind of getting ripped off. But
I mean,
I don't know.
Would you rather get ripped off as an independent or ripped off as a major label?
Yeah, I think what's funny, maybe when they tell those stories about being ripped off, they don't talk about there's still that like a little bit of infamy that comes with it, and so like even though you got ripped off, you sort of got a little famous too. Yeah. So it's like that was your payment in a weird way. Yeah,
everybody wants to be down with the sickness, man. They want to be out there in that sick Hollywood shit. I don't necessarily want to do that, but I do want to. I do want to be rubbing shoulders with some people who are like, who want more.
Yeah.
And I mean, how many bands do you know that just like are like so talented, but then they just sit on their hands?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's that age-old story. People got kids, they got jobs.
I'm not saying like that, but
sometimes it just doesn't happen. But
we both have jobs, right?
Yeah. So.
Are you grinding?
Trying. Yeah.
You know why? Because you care.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the way that I've been thinking about it is like, okay, we might not ever be famous. I don't necessarily even want to be famous, but you can still put something out there of worth. And I mean, who knows? You could be that guy that like you're thumbing through the record collection down the line, and like, oh my god, did you hear this song? And
yeah, I don't know. I mean, at least for me, I feel like the older I get, I still just feel like at the end of the day, if I have like a creative thing to, pursue, that's really like healthy.
Keep you from putting your head through the wall.
Yeah. I mean, it's just something to work on, to look forward to like whatever. And like, if it just spins its tires, it spins its tires. But, rather be in the arena trying, as I know you are too. So.
Yeah, man. There's no
like losing in the battle or whatever it is. It's just like
everybody gets a trophy.
No, you make your trophy out of whatever it is you want or something. Like, I don't know.
For sure.
Like,
I mean, like you ever get some cool shit on Time Hop on your Facebook from like some music thing that you did, like, and I mean,
yeah, like I guess I got a little memory or whatever they call it, and like it was like after we played Soundstage or something, and I was like, oh yeah, we did play Soundstage once. I was like, that's kind of cool. I
can't say that.
I didn't think. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think we'd get to, and I think we got to play there a couple times somehow. So I don't know, just weird. Sometimes you get lucky, I guess.
I mean, and then the cool thing is like you make a platform for other people without saying, hey, this is all about me.
Try not to, because I think it's all about everybody's mutual success.
That's how they built the pyramids and all that. Maybe, who knows? I don't know. I wasn't there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the podcast itself seems to be, going better than expected, and more importantly, I'm just meeting people, kind of like you're doing.
Yeah.
Through Instagram, and we didn't even mention why we're together today. We're gonna hopefully collaborate on somebody's song. It's your song, but it's kind of.
I made a beat for somebody a long time ago, and it didn't get used. And the girl sang on it that I met on Instagram. And
are we allowed to give her a shout out yet? Or
I suppose we could. Hold on one second. Her name's Hazel Dow. I need to look up her IG stuff.
Yeah, if for some reason she wasn't cool with that, then obviously I just bleep it out.
It's Hazel Dow Music. So Hazel DOW Music, and that's on Instagram. She's got a really good voice. She plays the violin and all that stuff.
No, you sent me the song, and I was immediately impressed with her voice for sure.
Yeah, she had a very powerful voice.
So that definitely carries.
You laid down some bitchin' guitar lines on there.
Yeah, man, I try. I don't know. I'm always open for that sort of business. If I'm always telling people, if you need a little guest solo, I can always take a stab at it. And if you don't like it, feel free to send it back to me. I just consider it fun to try.
I mean, I would like to sit here with you and come up with a track for just the two of us. I mean, we both play guitar, we both play bass. There's a keyboard right here. Anybody can take a stab at the keyboard. Yeah, I think and talking about it on microphone's kind of cool too. I guess with that, I always feel like in my limited past experience with songwriting, especially with anybody else, it's like somebody's got to bring a pretty decent idea to the table. I know plenty of spontaneous stuff happens, but I'm not exactly the most spontaneous idea person. When it comes to full-blown songs, I can spontaneously come up with maybe a guitar riff. I think that you have more in you than you know, and maybe you're a perfectionist in some ways. Yeah, you're not the first person to say that, but I don't know. I think it's also a security or insecurity thing where you want to feel comfortable. It's also a muscle that I don't always get to use. You got GarageBand, right? Yeah, I'm used to working on stuff on my own, but I guess within the creative environment, it's almost been a few years since I've been in a band where we were really playing every day. I mean, not every day, but every week maybe, where we kind of work on a
songs that way. In that
You're talking about a physical garage band. I'm talking about the computerized garage band.
That's where I come from though. That's like
yeah, no, I got you.
I think I'm comfortable in that setting where there's like a drum kit and like somebody banging on a beat, and then like, all right, let's try this idea.
I think I've told you this before, but like, you know, I come from sitting in the bedroom with the guitar, and then, you know, I made friends along the way that made beats or rapped or sang, and then it would be like, okay, I'll make the guitar part and the keyboard and the drums, you just sing the shit, and you know, we'll do the thing from there. So that's where I've always come from. It wasn't until college that I was like, so about 10 years ago. It wasn't until about 10 years ago that I was actually playing in bands with people. Yeah. And I love that too. But, you know, there's got to be like that. I mean, as I think you can tell from the type of music that I do, where it's just like a lot of, you never know where, if it's going to be MIDI based or if it's going to be live or whatever. You never know. So it's like there has to be like a melding of those two things because, okay, the Eagles, right? The Eagles come to the studio with a song written, probably.
Yeah, they probably got a whole team of songwriters sitting around
before that. But before all that, like when they were doing "Take It Easy," like okay, we've got this song, we've played this a million times. You bring it to George Martin, and George Martin's like, okay, yeah, you know this song, but you have to imagine it a completely different way. To make it come to life in the studio, because a great live song doesn't always translate to a great recording. So there's got to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if we were to do something, I'd probably be at least better suited to try the instrument side of things, like some guitar stuff, and see if some sparks your interest there, and then go from there. I guess with my personal stuff, I tend to start lyrics first, in a way, and then let the lyrics like dictate like how the song's gonna feel or which place it's gonna go.
I feel like you would be really good at writing riffs.
Yeah, that's kind of my favorite thing to do, really, is just sit around and riff on stuff, you know, like drum beats, metal beats, blues beats, whatever they might be.
I got you.
And sometimes that's how a song starts for me, but I don't know.
So I was sitting on the toilet yesterday and like
genius struck.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know about you, but I sit on the toilet with the guitar and like fuck it, why not?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm just gonna be like scrolling through my phone.
Like Dimebag Darrell used to say, like he did that when he was a kid or something.
For real?
Yeah, I feel like one of those people, either Dime or Eddie Van Halen or somebody,
sit on the toilet.
Yeah, just never left their hands. They're always playing. Yeah.
It's either that or it's going to be my dick. so it's might as well have my dick that is a guitar.
Exactly.
But I came up with something, with an idea, and then I put it on here. I recorded it, and it was like, okay, this is a cool idea now, but where do I go from here? Like, so, you know, for me, there's a lot of times I'll make a beat, right? And then a song will come out of the beat. And those, I like those type of songs, but I'll have to go back and relearn what I played. Whereas when I write a song like Little Tiny Bottles of Beer, I know how to play that fucking song, like back and forth. I know how to play it. But other songs will develop more so from making the beat. Yeah. And the track that we worked on today, right? Like, I love that beat. But I could just never come up with something. Yeah. And I'm still not sure if I like what that is, because she sounds great, but like maybe my perfectionist side is thinking like, we need the fucking anthem. Where's the anthem?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I feel like the anthem.
This is the anthem. Throw your hands up.
You ever think that like we all individually get like a few anthems?
Oh, of course.
Like they are definitely spontaneous. Like I feel like I might have one or two myself, but like
this one's for you.
Yeah, like
and me.
That's kind of my personal anthem, probably. But maybe we get a few in a lifetime where it's like, I don't know. We're always just kind of waiting for them to strike.
And then you use Caprice in the song.
Yeah, everyone thinks I'm saying Capri Sun, but hey, you gotta experiment with the thesaurus every once in a while and learn some new words.
No, I got it. Yeah, man, you got some good songs. But look, so I try to take myself a little bit. It's very easy to take yourself very seriously, right? So I try to take myself not so seriously and know that I'm just a drop of water in the ocean. Like, it's like there's a guy that's in the next building over who DJs at Cancun Cantina every Friday night, and his name is Always Sunny, but he takes the A's out, except for the first A, and he's got like this big yellow sun
he's got a
helmet
going.
He's got an EDM thing, and he's got tens of thousands of followers, and like I just know like, so if that's all right here, imagine what's wherever the fuck, so it's like there's thousands of people making music every single day. There's probably thousands of people making podcasts right now. So it's just like, sometimes that can be a little bit depressing because you're like, what the fuck, man? What am I going to do?
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think the number one thing, at least as a full-blown band, as maybe opposed to like being solo, is that, if you're a band, you got to tour. That's the only way that I've heard
touring. You want to go on a tour? Let's go on a tour.
Yeah. I mean, I've been trying to build towards that for a little while, just to kind of at least get some weekenders going. Nothing too crazy. But
I'm thinking when COVID is done that I'd like to go to just random towns. Go to Richmond and find a place and be like, hey, let me play here for an hour and a half during your lunch.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay me. Just let me play.
Mm-hmm.
And then just anybody that likes what I'm doing, just give them a card, give them a CD. And then, I've got a job. I can pay for a hotel.
Yeah.
So I'll pay for a hotel and do it again the next day. And then just, I get to take my wife somewhere. And, I mean, maybe I could build a following like that. And
yeah, I think it's just consistency. Like the bands that really make it work. They're in the same towns over the course of basically a decade, somewhat at a regular interval. So they hit Cleveland once a year. And so people eventually start, after 5 years or so, like, hey,
I remember this guy.
That band again. I might see him again. And then, they kind of do the same thing with Sarasota, Florida, or, Charleston. And they have like a kind of a loop, I think, that they just hit at least once a year. Is, I don't know, in my mind, I feel like of the bands I've seen mildly succeed, or succeed maybe even more, it seems like that's their like itinerary or their groove.
What's the reggae band out of Maryland that's been pretty successful?
Well, there's been a couple. I mean, I'm wearing one of their sweatshirts right now. It's Ballyhoo, but Bumpin' Uglies too.
Bumpin' Uglies is what I was thinking of.
Yeah, that was their more or less strategy, I think, and it worked. Is
that what Harkham's doing too?
Yeah, I mean, Harkham, I would say, is more like comparable to like what you're doing as a solo artist in a sense. He doesn't always have a full band touring with him, but what he does have is he has a van.
Yeah.
He's got a van. He's got this like
in a van down by the river.
He's got like this RV style Eurovan that he tours in, and it's got bunks and stuff.
That's cool.
And so he can go out solo or with a band, and he can still hit Pittsburgh and Philly and go up and down the East Coast. And he's been out everywhere though. So, but he's been doing it for so long that kind of makes sense. He should have a little bit of success by now, you would think. So
yeah, man, he's pretty talented, that's for sure. And then the guy from what's the band that does Drink Whiskey with Me? Swamp Candy. So the bass player from Swamp Candy was playing with Harkham when we saw him up there in Ellicott City.
Yeah, I think you're talking about Joey Mitchell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's in every band.
He plays the bass, and then he's got the fan on his hair.
Yeah, he's got the White Snake hair going or whatever.
Yeah, man. And he was like he turned the fan off because it was too cold outside or whatever. I was like, come on, man, you gotta put that fan on.
Yeah. I don't know, but there's also more than one method to success or whatever it is.
Yeah,
trying to find. So
success can be whatever you want it to be, right?
Right. Well, right now I think with the podcast, it's good to kind of like bring people together.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to keep working on that and see if it helps people's stuff. If nothing else, maybe somehow, especially if I'm able to do like a couple small. I'll stop short of calling it a festival, but like a party where, I don't know, 10 bands can play at a time, kind of like I did before. So I think I'll keep up that strategy to bring people together as well. Maybe one day there'll be a full-blown music fest. I do have a location in mind that's pretty cheap.
Where's that?
That one's out Western Maryland.
Mm.
It's definitely kind of a hippie spot. But, you know, they said in past years they've sold tons of tickets and had tons of bands roll through there. So I don't see why I couldn't maybe do a music festival of my own.
Yeah, well, you did the Oktoberfest was pretty. I mean,
for what it was, it worked. You know.
I mean, to be honest, man, like that was something else because you know you did it like okay, you know it was the follow through. It was like if you build it, they will come type thing. I mean,
and that's just in 6 months, you know. So what happens?
How long did it take you? It took you 6 months of playing?
It took less than that for the party, but I mean, the podcast is probably going like 6 months.
Oh,
so I mean, almost with everyone who played, except for like maybe a couple close friends, like I'd met through the podcast. So prior to 6 months before that, I couldn't have done something like that because I just didn't know that many bands necessarily, at least on a personal level. I've played with other bands, but it's not the same as having them on your podcast,
right? And
like talking to them one-on-one and kind of seeing what they're up to.
I need to put you in contact with this guy Chris, the Know the Musician guy. I think I mentioned him to you before. Mm-hmm. He's doing trivia every week, and
that's cool.
Yeah, he had a band on there from Virginia, and and it's cool because we're all musicians, and everybody knows that, like, everybody wants the fucking spotlight, right? Everybody wants that. But
sure.
But it the fact that you're able to turn the spotlight on somebody else and be like, hey, what are you guys doing? Yeah. And it's like instead of like everybody clamoring to fucking get to the top or whatever.
Yeah. No, I mean, it all started, I think, with the Ballyhoo singer Howie. I mean, he said on his podcast, just start one, see what happens. You don't have to like expect too much out of it, but it might like go somewhere or like a direction you didn't expect. So like with having people play on the same day at a sort of mini festival, if you will, I didn't plan that. I was just like, well, this could work because I've got more faces like that I know.
For sure. Yeah,
so like maybe that's the direction of like getting people together, but then more importantly, like kind of building a way to get a crowd. I think maybe subconsciously that's also my motive, is kind of like, after playing so many shows of like, barely anybody there. It's like,
yeah,
this is like
that feeling.
This is like the lengths I will go to like sort of manufacture a crowd, because if I bring my friends to see my band and you bring your friends to see your band, and that just keeps building, like maybe
up until that point I kind of felt like that might be cheating, right?
Maybe.
But with that evening, it kind of made me realize that that's not the case. It's not the case because, how did you find your favorite restaurant? You know what I mean? How'd you...
Word of mouth. Like your friends tell you about a cool band. I just look at it as there's a humongous piece of music, of the music scene, missing when you compare it to like a thriving music scene. That's a bad way of saying
we are a thriving. But at the moment we're not.
I just look at it like, all right, say you compare like the 90s punk scene of DC to like something now. Like, what is even remotely comparable to that? Where
they didn't talk about. Well, they talked about it. Nobody's talking about shit now. It's just like, listen to my shit. Listen to my shit.
But like, if you got into one of those like underground punk shows back in the day with Bad Brains, you were like, poof, you were famous in those punk circles, and some bands turn that into a lifetime of making it work,
right?
Just out of being a part of that community. But without the community, like, there would have been nothing to be a part of, and then no one spreading word of mouth, and it's just, you're screaming into a void, kind of.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You know?
No, you know that song, the Beatles song, he's a real nowhere man? Making all his nowhere songs for nobody.
I'm the worst.
I know. No, but the song is, he's a real nowhere man, he makes all his nowhere songs for nobody. So it's like making all these songs for nobody.
Yeah, there's also a Zen message to that thought, I think, probably since it was John Lennon, which is, of course, we are all nothing. And,
have you seen Dewey Cox?
Yeah, that was a good one.
You remember he said, will your songs still suck when I'm 65?
Well, it also kind of goes back, I think, to what I was saying before. Like, sometimes you just got to make stuff for yourself, or make it for, in a way, nothing. I call it the universe, but whatever. Yeah. You're just making it to make it, and you're not making it to like make somebody else be a fan of you or something. I don't know. It's a weird
thing. But okay, so who was it? Okay, I heard somebody from Chicago, the band Chicago, talking about how back in the days you were making your songs for other people, not just for yourself or something like that.
Well, there's a lot more like what's the word I'm looking for? Institution. I feel like behind the creation of music, in that it was a very rigid sort of structure from the studio networks to the record labels. It was rigid and heavily controlled. So then, of course, you had to write something to like make somebody else happy, because if you didn't, then it was definitely never going to be heard. Now at least there's a chance, at least since the 70s or 80s probably.
Do you think that they wrote Hotel California for themselves? That's my yardstick for a good song. I would say Margaritaville, but I want to be mocked.
I do think that like it's just a double entendre or a double thing where like the guy from the Beach Boys, Brian Wilson, I think like him and Kurt Cobain and some other people like that, they hear these things like in their head. And I think in their heart of hearts, like they just sort of have the ability to just get them out of themselves. And then after that, I'm not 100% sure they care.
It's like a pimple.
Yeah.
Something comes to the surface.
Maybe
right?
Maybe like slightly more like positive or slightly more artistic or a poetic way of saying that.
It's a pussy baby.
It'd be like too much of a hippie to say it's like a gift to the world. But
no, for sure.
I just think it's like something that they have in them and they got to get it out. And like Kurt Cobain was, of course, upset when he got famous, or at least to the level he was famous. And like, I just think some of those people, I don't know if they cared, at least at first. I really don't know.
Right. Okay. So my thing is, I know so many people who are talented musicians, right? I know so many people that are talented, and some of them just don't care about. Like I got friends that have like songs sitting like, oh yeah, I like, especially in the hip hop world, they're like, oh yeah, I don't own the rights to that beat or blah blah blah, so I can't release this, and I'll sit on this. And
sad.
Right, but I'm not sure if they even care. You know what I'm saying? Like they can
trying to find a workaround or get it out there some other way.
Guy that called me when we were recording earlier, Mike, will speak directly to your soul with a song, like which is not always the case with rap, but he will speak directly to your soul and record a song over and over and over and over and over again. Like, oh, it wasn't perfect, but does it the exact same way every time. You know what I'm saying? So what's up with that?
Well, hopefully not to criticize your
I'm not
friends
criticizing.
or-
I'm not
or
criticizing. I'm not
anyone,
criticizing. What do you do with that though? Because there's so many millions of people that are that talented. I wouldn't say millions, but there's thousands of people that are that talented.
And that's like a mental block. I know a couple other people that are like that. And I think it's sort of a spiritual thing, if you will. Maybe that's too whimsical. So like it's a psychological thing where it's like, you know, who knows exactly where self-doubt comes from, but it's like you're not letting yourself get out of the way.
I'm not even sure if it's self-doubt though. Like, okay, so
Or you're talking about like perfectionism.
I'm not even saying that. What I'm saying,
Or-
okay, so you said, so Kurt Cobain didn't want to get famous, right?
Probably at least not as famous as he did. You know what I mean? Like,
So maybe he was
judging from his interviews, he was not thrilled.
It was just like a thing that he wanted, like. Okay, so even this guy Mike, right? So he said to me one time, you know, we're at Deep Flow Studios in Baltimore, and he said to me, you know, while I was holding the guitar, he said, you know, you feel like you're drawn to this thing, and you don't know why, but you feel like you have to do it.
Yeah.
And that speaks volumes to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a longer conversation about just purpose in life. I think a lot of times people think that, you know, you gotta be the person you want to be, rather than just trying to be better at who you actually are and figuring out what that is. It's just that age-old tale, you know what I mean? Like, you can't be somebody you're not, so the only thing you can do is just figure out what you are and try to be better at that. And for some people, I don't know, I think maybe they want so badly to be some form of musician, but sometimes I don't even know, like maybe that wasn't the thing that they were really interested in or good at deep down, and they just want something different. They want something out of music. I don't know.
I was running Spotify playlists on Spotify, but I had like an Instagram page that said free Spotify placement.
Yeah.
You wouldn't
It
believe the
blew
amount
up.
of people that just were like, and like people were like, can you put mine closer to the top? And then like, and
Well, speaking of Spotify playlists, I did want to build one for this podcast, so I'm going to do that in the next couple of weeks. So that
There you go.
would be another way to, I don't know, get people involved or something.
do you like add new music to your library often?
Well, these days, yeah, I mean, with the podcast, but I mean, I also look for music that I like, you know, regardless of
Yeah, I got you.
knowing who they are. Like, I still search out stuff if I like their sound.
You could do weekly playlist or bi-weekly or monthly or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll just have a part-time rock star podcast. Everybody who's been on it, you know, the alumni, they get to have their spot, and hopefully that podcast kind of grows a little bit, because you know, people tell people about their music, so who knows?
You sure?
You know, but yeah,
I would like to grab another beer.
yeah, pause. All right, so we'll do some quick closing statements here. Basically, everybody needs to go out there and listen to Nick Thompson and listen to this new song. But you got another new thing coming up.
Yeah, I'm actually going to shoot a video for one of the songs I already released at the end of this month. And I'm also planning on releasing singles every month of 2021. So singles or EPs. So I think the next one I'll do will be under Surfin On The Lake and see what happens with that.
Yeah, right on.
See what happens with that. So hopefully we can collaborate on some stuff. Maybe we can write some songs together. Who knows?
Yeah. Future's wide open, man.
Yeah.
So
Shining bright.
all right, cool. Thanks for coming on, man. We'll
Thanks,
get this
dude.
episode out in like a week.
Come with me to a place by the
So yeah, I wanted to thank Nick for having me over, and thank you guys for listening. And yeah, his new track is on here, and like I said, it's called Come With Me, and you can find it wherever you listen to music. Have a good week.
Everybody loves to have a good time. We got nothing on our mind. We're just loving, laughing in the moment, watching the sunset across the ocean. Come with me to a place by the sea, a place you won't want to leave. Come with me to a place you'll see, a place you'd love to be. Everybody feels so free. Won't you come sit next to me? I love the moonlight upon your face. We can't let these stars go to waste. Come with me to a place by the sea, a place you won't want to leave. Come with me to a place you'll see, a place you love to be. Come with me to a place by the sea, a place you won't want to leave. Come with me to a place you'll see, a place you